Welcome to Food Talk, where we talk about food, fishing, farming, and all things East End. Today, my guests are John Barron, Sigrid Benedetti, the husband and wife team that is sort of the new royalty. Is it the new royalty of the East End food community? What do you think?
If you say so.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. Well,
sure.
Why not?
First, quick question. I really need to know, our viewers need to know, who does the cooking at home?
I do most of the cooking
Do
at
you
home.
really? All right.
Yes. Well, I mean, as a private chef where I'm working now, I work very hard in the summer, but in the off season, I don't have a lot to do. And she works more year round.
Right.
And it just kind of falls to me, which is great.
All right. So what's for dinner tonight?
Tonight, I haven't got that far yet.
Okay.
I think I might do some chicken parm,
Oh,
but
nice.
we do with ground up pork rinds instead of breadcrumbs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it actually stays on our whole, we try to eat low carb.
Right.
Yeah.
So we were just talking about this before the show. Let's just get into this a little bit.
Sure.
So you're trying to eat in a ketosis manner. Is that
Yeah.
is that the
That's like the scientific term. She
Right.
actually knows more about it. Why
The,
don't you talk about
the
it?
idea is it's called a ketogenic diet. So it's basically a very high fat, very, very low carb restricted diet with a moderate amount of protein. So the idea is that your body will choose to burn alcohol or sugar. So any kind of carbohydrate that you put in your body, be it, an orange or a piece of bread or anything, anything that starch or natural sugars, your body will choose to use that first, right? So even like whole grain things, they're still full of carbohydrates. So your body will choose to use both of those things first, and in a lot of ways, they're not the cleanest burning nutrients for your body. I mean, they both have effects on your blood sugar, which can affect your brain chemistry. It's really good for maintaining a sort of a clear head.
Okay.
But if you can get your body into burning its own fat, it's the cleanest, in a lot of ways, it's the cleanest burning energy because it doesn't change their insulin levels, it doesn't make any blood sugar spikes, and you sort of you get off that roller coaster.
So where do I sign up?
It's very easy to do. There's tons and tons of keto
Okay.
websites and all that kind of
All
stuff.
right.
Keto Clarity, it's a great book.
There's even cookbooks.
It's a little bit the Atkins diet is so almost like 70 to 80% of sort of what the ketogenic diet
Okay.
does. So,
All
and
right.
if you're not, and the thing is, if you're not eating any of the carbohydrates, the fat that you take into your body is not converted to cholesterol and triglycerides and all of those things that are going to give you heart disease.
Good. And John, you've been on this diet. It's working for you.
Yeah, I just started maybe like last month, and I think I've already lost maybe 5 pounds.
That's
But more
awesome.
importantly than that, I just
More
feel
than
better.
that.
Yeah.
It's not even
Good.
so much about me losing weight, it's
Right.
about feeling better.
Right.
And it cuts down on the inflammation. Some of the stuff we brought, actually, the cookies don't apply, obviously, but the other stuff does, and Sigrid made those crackers.
Here's just a quick chef question. So when you are preparing food for the family that you cook for, how does that affect you tasting your own food?
I have to taste it.
Right.
I mean, it's
You don't swallow, you don't glom it, right?
yeah, exactly. But I mean, it doesn't have to be that much. And most
Right.
things that I make, I've made before. So I mean, my comfort level with my clients is high after 3 years now.
Right.
So if I'm making chicken fingers with the kids, I don't need to taste that.
So first of all, would you guys like coffee?
I would
Sure.
love
Because
coffee.
I just need some coffee. So
Coffee
let's
at
just-
all hours, yes, coffee.
Okay, good. So let's just get the coffee situation working here. Ladies first.
Oh,
I'm
thank
not
you.
a good pourer.
It's
this set.
it's a very small
Okay.
thing to aim for.
So John, your history, first of all, you both met at Babbo. So this was we were talking about this before the show. So this was this a torrid restaurant love affair? Can we say that? Or just, we don't recommend.
might be overstating it a little bit.
Well, I am prone to hyperbole,
Yeah.
but it's nice that you met. I mean, we meet people at work. So you guys met at Babbo. And what was that like for you? No.
We actually didn't start dating until he had left Babbo to become the chef at Poe. So we only overlapped for like 3 months at Babbo, and
The courting phase.
yeah, there were a couple things about him that told me he was a really smart guy, like really smart guy. So it sort of piqued my interest in him as a person. And then I went to go eat at Poe one night. I drove out in a snowstorm. I'll have you know to come.
Linguine with clams.
And the sweetbreads, the sweetbreads with the sausage, right? and he sent me out this dinner. And I had dragged another friend out with me because I was embarrassed to sit at the bar by myself.
Of course.
I really wanted to talk to him, whatever.
Right.
And I was jokingly thought to myself, I was like, I'm going to marry this guy. And, well,
The rest is history.
Yeah. I mean, generally speaking, I don't know. It's like dating in any workplace.
Right.
It can be fraught. It
Right.
can be a good thing or a bad thing. And I don't know.
No, I understand. Not really. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So, John, you went to CIA. You worked on a cruise ship. You were an Army cook.
I was.
Were you peeling a lot of potatoes? I mean, that's
No,
what
actually, we
thinks.
do a lot of different things with ground beef in the Army,
Right.
believe it or not. We don't have any Army that's really great, and I want to get one of these days. They have this thing called a recipe box. Recipe card. It's like a card catalog, and it's like this box like this, and there's the cards like this, and all these different recipes broken down into different categories of food, and they're really actually, some of the recipes are really spot on. They're really tested, and that's basic cooking. And a lot of the stuff we did was really pretty darn good. It's all from scratch cooking.
Right.
But people think Army food was so horrible, and it really wasn't. A lot of it was based on really good fresh ingredients. We'd get like produce deliveries.
Oh, that's
It was
cool.
like a real kitchen.
Oh, good.
That's
awesome.
And I'd love to have one of those sets because all branches of the service use it. It's great to have.
How many were you cooking for at a time?
Depending on which unit I was in, it could be anywhere from someone was like 100, but then there was one unit we were feeding like 1,000 people for breakfast.
Well, it's catering.
Yeah,
Huh?
and
Wow.
omelets to order for 1,000 guys.
Whoa. How
Yeah.
many guys in the kitchen?
If I'm during breakfast service, it's probably maybe like 8 or 10 of us.
Yeah.
We used to have like a bank of like 12 convection ovens, and one guy would just be on bacon and sausage, so he would have a rolling rack full of straight up bacon. Of
course.
He'd start putting it in one oven, go all the way down to the last, and he'd just circle back around. By that time, that bacon was actually
Oh,
ready.
that's awesome.
So he was just round and round and round, taking bacon out for like hours. Not to mention the big giant kettles we had. You could actually take a bath in. It was kind of fun to watch.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah.
And you're known here in the East End as now more of a catering director. You have a new gig at Elegant Affairs,
Yep.
which is really
Yep.
exciting, which we're going to talk about.
It's very exciting.
But you started as a pastry chef.
I did.
Is that correct? And
I
so
did.
tell us a little bit about that.
My first love has always been baking and pastry. When I was a kid, our son is 12, when I was his age, I used to have like a whole library of cookbooks up in my bed at night. I was a chocoholic, I had a huge sweet tooth, so I read every pastry book I could basically get my hands on. And when it came time to, after high school and everything, I went to Cornell. I did not wind up going to the restaurant school, but I looked at Cornell because I thought I'd be able to get a culinary education, like a cooking in the kitchen education while I was getting my liberal arts degree. But it's really management heavy. You don't get to do cooking until you're in the older years. And I didn't want to do the management side of things. It wasn't as appealing to me.
So did you leave
So
the
I
school?
did.
I did.
Yeah, I actually studied textile and apparel design. And then I came
That came
out.
in handy, right?
Yeah, completely. And then I got a job working at Consumer Reports magazine. I was in the Department of Chemical and Textile Testing. I was in the textile working group.
Oh, okay.
Really bored, working with a lot of, not bored, it was interesting work, but working with a lot of engineers. And I was just, and I was also in my 20s. Everybody was like, they talked about Volvos and home improvement, and I was like, it didn't really relate to me.
Right.
And through a couple series of things, it sort of dawned on me. I had a conversation with a friend of my mom, my friend's mom, who recently passed away. And just out of nowhere, she said to me, we were having drinks after work one day. She said, Sigrid, whatever happened to the baking and the cooking? You used to love to do that. And I said, I did used to love to do that.
And
2 weeks later,
again. Wow.
and 2 weeks later, I was in cooking school.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
I went to the 9-month program. So it was 3 nights. Three nights a week while I was still working at Consumer Reports.
And what school did you go to again?
Institute for Culinary Education.
Oh, yes,
It was a year
yes.
that it turned over from being Peter Kumps to ICE.
Yeah.
So
That's a good
just,
school.
Yeah,
I taught a couple of classes there once.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a really excellent program. And then through my internship, I met Gina De Palma at an event that I volunteered to work for school, and she was a pastry chef at Babbo.
Right.
And now,
Circle of life.
That's
Circle of life.
why you're here.
Yeah.
But
And that's how it all happened.
But you've been on the East End since 2006. John, you were the chef at Nick and Tony's.
Yeah.
For how many years?
8 years.
8 years.
chef
You were
there,
one of
yes.
my son's favorite guys.
Yeah, I love
it's a lot of people's favorite guy.
I know, it's true. It's true.
It's true.
But you've now reached sort of chef heaven in that you've found a really great personal chef gig.
Yeah, I feel like that it's almost like winning the lottery in some respects, because I mean, not just that I found a great gig, I found a great family to work for.
Yeah, I think that's the key.
A lot of these, I don't know, because this is the only personal chef job that I've ever had. I mean, I was 30 years working in restaurants, and I never thought I would get a job like this for the simple reason that I've heard so many horror stories about, clients just being like, oh, it's smoothie hour, that they're ringing a little bell, and maybe not literally ringing the bell, but that kind of like they want a servant and somebody to boss around, as opposed to somebody who's going to take care of
make me a grilled cheese with no bread.
That kind of thing, right? Whereas my clients are they're just very sane. They tell me in advance what they're going to need, who's coming to dinner.
That's awesome.
It's not calling me up 45 minutes. Hey, I'm bringing home 12 people from the beach.
Right, that happens to a lot of.
And I hear stories, like I go to the local guy for fish. And he gives me the lowdown because he gets all the other private chefs.
Right,
so it's like a big gossip thing at 8:30 in the morning, where you're gossiping about who's doing what and the horror stories and his agenda with the other fish people in the town. So it's pretty funny, I enjoy
That's
that.
wonderful that you landed that kind of a gig. I know they miss you at Nick and Tony's, but good for you,
Yeah, and it's like I said, I work really hard in the summer, but I get paid. It's a year-round job. I don't have to hustle for jobs every summer like a lot of these guys I know do.
Right.
I think that's one of the only ways that we would have that this transition.
I would have never done it. I would have
It's
just
too
gone off and been a
insecure.
personal chef.
Right.
Yeah.
I had to this job had to kind of fall to me, which it did. And it allows me all this time with my son. I have a 12-year-old son, so
that's great.
to be able,
And you guys went to spring training,
right?
right?
Just recently, we went to Arizona this year.
Yeah. We have to talk Yankees for a second.
Yeah.
So
She's
this,
used to
this
it.
injury with Greg Bird is a
Let me know when
problem.
you need
It is
It
problematic.
really sucks.
Yeah,
This guy's one of my favorite Yankees.
He's like the new Troy Tulowitzki,
Oh man, this is a bad thing because he really made that lineup perfect as the lefty bat.
Right.
And
we
sorry,
don't
Sigrid,
really-
just
don't
take
really-
a break. Good ladies.
Don't really have a good first baseman to replace him. Like if we lost an outfielder, it wouldn't have been that big a deal because
Right.
we had them lined up.
Right.
But we'll see. 6 to 8 weeks.
It's not that bad.
We'll never know.
Yeah, I guess not. I'm just bummed.
Yeah.
A little moment of silence.
I feel bad
Greg
for
Bird.
him.
I know. Oh, I know. All right, I'll let go of that. So let's play. Let's play Food Lover Companion Roulette.
We actually used to play this together when we were back in the day. We were dating. We'd go to his mom had a house upstate. We'd go for the weekend. We'd bring our Food Lover's Companion and go, what's this?
And maybe we shouldn't play Food Lover's Companion.
No, we should. I want to see what you came up with. I want to see how we did.
So
we do.
the word for today, the word of the day is bobo tea.
Bobo tea. It's give me a moment. It's an African. I think bobo tea is it's like a stew. It's an African stew, and is it like tagine where the dish is also the same thing as the actual?
Like a bobo tea is a noun also.
Am I close?
A popular South African dish made of minced lamb and/or beef mixed with bread, rice, mashed potatoes, onions, garlic, curry powder. The ingredients are blended with an egg and milk mixture before being baked.
So it's kind of stewy casserole. I kind of got somewhere close there, right?
I think you get it because and this is why when I saw this, we're going to give it to you. It's you win, which is the second clear winner, right? Second clear winner here. There's a third one. So you joined Claudia Fleming, women 2, men nothing, John.
makes
Hey,
but you
I'm
see,
in good company.
When I said
Appreciate
South
that.
African, plus you had just been to South
gonna
Africa,
say.
which is why I was thinking about not giving you the word. But tell us about South Africa.
Oh, South Africa was wonderful. It was really, really, really wonderful.
I saw you hugging instead of being a tree hugger, you did
I
hug
was
a
an
truck, but
elephant hugger. It was
I know.
amazing. No, we spent a couple days in Kruger National Park itself with the elephants right outside the camp. And then we did a couple of days doing the panorama route, so beautiful landscapes and the 3 rondevals and all that stuff.
Sorry,
and then
John.
we stayed a couple nights at a luxury private game reserve, which was very different from having, been in Kruger, because Kruger was
Right.
sort of camping in a more. Listen, it was a tent that had a floor, but still more rustic than like the private game camp. But it was amazing.
Did you see herds of animals?
Oh, herds. Tons and tons of impala. They call them the McDonald's of the bush because they're fast food.
There you go. I like that.
Right?
That's a good one.
Zebras, elephants.
Cheetahs. So cheetahs?
No, I didn't see a cheetah in the wild.
Oh.
We went to a rehabilitation center where I got to meet a cheetah.
The cheetahs were in rehab?
The cheetahs were in
Drinking, drugging, that kind of thing?
it's a problem there. They're working
Cheetahs
on
on the Bowery.
it. education, and you got to give them other choices.
Right.
You got to give them other choices
Yeah.
of what to do with their lives. No, an elephant reserve that we went to as well for an elephant rescue. This is where I got to hug my elephant.
Oh,
which
wow.
was really, really exciting. But
What?
yeah, herds of animals. You just drive into Kruger and like you just keep your eye out because you might
And
be surrounded.
how long were you? Did you stay in the actual park? How long were you?
2
in
nights
that
in
tent?
the actual park.
Wow.
2 nights we were in another game lodge, which is sort of like off the beaten path, a couple of towns. Well, about an hour from Kruger. And then the last time we were about 45 minutes from the top of Kruger
Oh, wow.
National. So we were in that area the whole time. And then I had one night in Johannesburg myself.
Oh, wow. Okay. So I feel like I got gypped. I got like a junior varsity safari because I was in Senegal.
you were in Senegal, I know.
So I got no cheetahs, no herds, no lions, no elephants, but I did get hippopotamus. I got zebra.
So you saw some of the Magnificent Seven, as they call it, right?
Well, what's the Magnificent Seven?
I don't remember all of
a
them.
movie.
I remember the.
Yul Brynner.
I don't know. There's the Big Five, the Ugly Five, and the Magnificent Seven. And I think like zebras are Magnificent Seven.
They're cool
I
looking.
think hippos must be Magnificent
What
Seven.
about giraffe?
too.
They got to be in there.
Giraffes, I'm sure. I'm
Oh,
sure.
giraffes
I mean,
are wild.
Of course. Yeah.
So, and I saw big antelope, some the McDonald's of
Impalas.
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 I was going to call them llamas.
Chevys?
Just saw some Chevys. Just saw some cutlasses.
Chevys, exactly.
Red and green monkeys and
Oh, red and green monkeys. We
yep,
only
and
we saw some bush
warthog.
babies. Oh yeah, we saw a lot of
Yep,
warthog. I
they're
forgot
kind of
about them.
interesting.
Hyenas, those are cool.
Oh, those are cool. Okay.
Oh, they're so
So I
cool.
mean, you know, I think I would go back on a safari, but at least I got a little safari experience. But there were no herds. It was just a kind of a closed preserve. But I mean, I
Yeah,
got to
right.
do it. It was pretty cool.
Well, you know, once getting there is expensive, and once you're there, you can eat for not a lot of money, you can stay for not a lot of money. So when I think about like the idea of like going there versus Europe, for example, you might spend the same amount of money, more of it's going to go to your airfare,
Right.
but then you can sort of be there for
Yeah.
less money, which makes it.
I liked Africa. I thought it was really cool. I mean, I've been to Egypt, Tunisia, Morocco. Senegal was the first sub-Saharan country, so I'd like to go back to more sub-Saharan Africa. It's I love to travel, and it was a great experience.
I've been to Morocco and South Africa. So
Okay, you've been the top and the bottom.
Now I got
In between
now
will be
I
next,
just have to work
right.
my way through, right?
This beautiful food. Let's just talk
We made
about
some
what
snacks.
you brought. We've got cookies. We've got a
Which are not ketogenic diet
right.
at
I was
all.
going to
They're
say.
just- It's terrible to love baking so much and to be like, no, I don't
Can't
need
eat any of it."
sugar or grain or any of that stuff. But I mean, the process is still wonderful and exciting.
Johnny made a chicken liver mousse.
Mm-hmm.
On the side, there's a little caramelized red onions.
Oh, nice. And then Sigrid, you made these crackers.
I made
over
the
here.
crackers. They are actually would fit into the ketogenic diet, ketogenic lifestyle, if you would. They're almond flour, a little bit of coconut flour, and they're really delicious. It's an onion cracker, and it actually you take an egg and an onion, and you throw that into a blender, and that makes the liquid for your cracker dough, right? And
Wait,
then
say
there's
that again?
an onion. The onion,
Right.
basically like a whole onion, just goes right into well, you chop it a little bit, because otherwise stick on the blades, with an egg. And that goes into a blender with almond flour. Then you mix it with almond flour, a little coconut flour, and this actually has Parmesan cheese in it as well. So they're really, really tasty. They're really flavorful. Like, I think you need to give them
I
a
need
try.
to. All right, so we're gonna have manners, and
Oh,
I know
if you insist.
I do insist. Actually, I'm trying to be nice here. So we'll set the table.
And there's a story behind these cookies too.
What's the story behind the cookies?
Okay, so these cookies they're pretty delicious, but they kind of have maybe not the best name. I couldn't come up with a name for them, but so I call them Nikki and Santi going away cookies, because our good friends Nikki and Santi were moving, and I made these cookies.
Santi the
Bartender.
Yeah.
Santi from exactly
moved to
Santi Taken.
Portland.
They moved to Portland, and so for their going away.
Well, it's kind of like, was it more like a garbage pail kind of cookie where you just kind of
It was.
threw
I
them
threw
together
like a bunch
out of whatever
of
you
things
had in the
there.
house?
Well, no, I got a little creative. Like I threw so into this cookie, which is a partially brown butter cookie, all brown sugar, no white sugar. There's cocoa nibs, ground coffee,
Ooh.
2 different kinds of chocolate, a milk chocolate and a 60% chip. And then because I don't know what got into me on the day that I did it, I crushed up some Oreos and I threw them in there. And so now these are Nikki and Santi going away cookies. I don't know what to call them other than that.
But you and John will not
Yes.
partake in this cookie today. Is
I
that-
actually won't.
Right.
No, I
Right.
mean I've had them.
Right.
I've had them a bunch of times. I know they're really delicious.
So it's up to me.
You know
to-
what?
You got to carry the burden.
You just
All right. Folks, somebody's got to do this, okay? And I will, oh, it's moist. It's a moist cookie.
they do the crispy chew thing. They're pretty darn good. I mean that's a
good
good
cookie.
cookie. I like them. The coffee flavor's nice in there, right? Like it's actually just ground coffee. It's not brewed or anything like that. It's like just boom, ground coffee.
It's
throw
a
it in
wonderful
there.
cookie.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit, because I want to get to this. I should have had the mousse first.
Yeah, it'll still
Finish
taste
it
good.
with the
That's
sweet.
fine.
But I just want to get back to you and your new gig at Elegant Affairs.
Yes.
So tell us about that.
I'm very excited.
And what you do. I know it's only maybe a month old.
Yeah, if that. Yep.
So tell our viewers.
So I've just joined the Elegant Affairs team. Elegant Affairs has had some really great success. They've been out here working in the Hamptons. Basically since they began over 20 years ago. Andrew Coriali is the founder, the owner of the company, and I think she's great. I think she's really like a visionary. She knows has a real like message to her work, and it's a great environment. So Elegant's been doing stuff in the Hamptons for as long as they've been around, for 20 years. But recently they sort of have made greater inroads into working out here, sort of trying to like not do things as quietly, but sort of be more of a presence. And to that end, they wanted somebody who was going to be out here, because the main office in the commissary is in Glen Cove, New York.
Right.
So I'm traveling up there an awful lot these days while I get to know the system. Just fine. It is what it is.
Glen Cove Road.
But then I'm going to be actually working from home, so that I'm really local and I'm really right here. So and I think it's going to be a nice thing for our clients to know that there is the service and the food and all that we're known for, and that they know they have reliably, but also somebody sort of at their fingertips, because I can just pop out and just be anywhere I need to be in a short amount of time.
What a perfect fit. It's good for them and great for you.
I think it is a good fit, and I'm really excited about it. I mean, I was at a networking event in the city last night, and they had just come up with a whole brand new station for it, and it was delicious, and it looked great, and like people were really happy. And I mean, that's what it's all about. You want people to be happy. Celebrations are important. So I think it's an important service that we provide for people to help them celebrate, right?
I agree.
So
I'm going to celebrate with some chicken mousse, John. So I guess I should just dig in, right?
yeah, you can dig in, and then you can put a little of the onions on top. I'm definitely going to have some of that.
This was something that this was a very common amuse when I was at Nick and Tony's.
Right.
I would do this all the time, It just went over really well, that one little bite, and it was something that people seem to enjoy. And that amuse Nick and Tony's was like, it was a wonderful thing as a guest to come and get that little, little
treat.
gift from the chef. But I can tell you, as a chef in the back, it was always such a pain.
Oh, it's got to be.
Every day, gotta come up with a new one. And sometimes it's really hard. Like, you just can't think of things. So this was a go-to for me, and I can make it and just really, and.
Well, and some of the things you used to be able to do when you were in the city, people don't go for out here.
Yeah.
Remember, like Mark Ladner used to be able to
Right.
a perfect
Green market
English
snap
radish, right?
Or a
snap
snap
pea
pea.
with like butter and sea salt and like a schmear, and that was it. And people would be like, "This is delicious." Out here, people are like, "You're giving me a snow pea?" Like, they're like, "I can
tried it a
I
few
can eat
times
that at
in my
home."
backyard,
Like
right.
it's not like it,
Right.
I think it might be more receptive, as the slow food movement has taken more and more, Like you have to, like anything in a restaurant, you have to sell it, So if the person putting it down is like gives you the whole story behiand the snap pea, now all of a sudden that snap pea is a little more
So it's the
interesting.
waiter's fault, basically.
like
Of course.
it'd be like
See right through me.
Portlandia.
Front of the house, back of the house. Back of the house always wins. Now, did you guys bring this bread, or is this Carissa's bread?
That's Carissa's bread.
A plug for one of our sponsors, Carissa's bread, my favorite bread in todo el mundo. Also that sourdough over there, I got my eye on, but I just have to have a little bite. I know you're not supposed to eat on the set, but I mean, just to, all that stuff. Okay.
It smells good. I smell it. I still crave bread, but
I'm going to put you guys on the spot. So,
dear.
5 people in the history of the world, dead or alive, that you would invite to dinner.
you get to go first.
I think the first one that I would really want, and it's not related to food, but but I'd like to have dinner with Elon Musk.
Oh, okay, that's a good one.
It doesn't have to be related to food, right?
No, you
Okay.
can be anybody.
Well,
Anybody. We've had some wild combos
You know,
here.
I've read his biography, and he strikes me as somebody who's just very. I mean, he's got this real vision. I don't know if you know this about him. Obviously, he's known for Tesla, but Tesla's not his main focus. His main focus is his other company, SpaceX, which is the rocket company, and his stated goal is to be putting people on Mars in his own lifetime. And that sounds a little kooky to people and whatnot, but I feel if you look back upon history, some other great visionaries, you know, Ford and Carnegie and all those guys like that, you know, they had an idea, and you know, in hindsight, it looks brilliant. So I think we need more people like that are true visionaries and not afraid to put themselves out there financially, you know, in the public eye to do these wonderful things. And all the things that he's doing that to get to this goal, he's creating all these other ancillary things, you know, like in Tesla and the big battery factory that he's built out in Arizona somewhere. Yeah. I mean, it's just incredible what this guy is trying to do. And, you know, if we had more people like that are just, you know, not that he's selfless about it, but he has got his goal, and his goal is lofty.
Do you want to be the first chef on Mars? Is that
actually, I hadn't thought about that.
That's what's going on. That's what's going on here.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got Elon Musk. Who else you got?
I think I would put two together. I would take probably people like Thomas Jefferson and Ben Franklin.
Love it.
Because I am also a history buff, and those are two people who also had a great love of food.
Right.
You could think about Thomas Jefferson with the vineyards, and Ben Franklin obviously was known to be quite a gourmand, and he sounds like somebody who'd have some really good stories.
Right.
I mean, think about, you know, things about him, and I think I'd like to meet both of those guys. So that would be two more right there.
Okay, all right.
As far as a fourth one, I would probably pick some famous baseball player, because I'm a big baseball fan. You know, maybe someone like Ty Cobb, who has been much more.
Not a Yankee? Come on, bro.
Well, you know, I was
gonna say Roger
I have a
Maris.
fifth one, you know. But you know, Ty Cobb is an interesting person. He's been maligned.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think he was necessarily a wonderful person, but I think a lot of the things you hear about Ty Cobb and all his reputation as being a bigot and a racist and a overall mean guy.
Right.
Where a lot of that was created by a sports writer in the 50s.
Okay.
Who created
All right.
this legend of Ty Cobb.
You're gonna get
know?
Ty Cobb on the spot. And
I would like to sit down and talk with him. And like,
So
you know,
should have Obama on the set just to really flush him out a little bit. Or Hank
number
Aaron.
5, right?
We got about 30 seconds left. You got 5 fast ones?
3. My grandmother, my maternal grandmother, because I never met her, and she's my guardian angel. And Michelle and Barack Obama, I think would be just really fascinating to sit down and talk to them. They seem like personable people.
We got a party of 8. No, you gave me 4, right?
And then that,
Yeah, right.
Okay. All
And
right.
Didn't
then
give you
I
a
would
fifth.
want Marcella Hazan to cook the savory courses and Maida Hader to cook my desserts, because they were my inspirations and loves growing up.
I like that.
So that's
All right.
3, but 2 chefs.
We don't often say who's going to do the cooking, so
Well,
I like that. I
you
like
know.
that aspect. That's good.
That's what came to mind.
This is about all the time we have for today's show. I want to thank you both for coming on. We could probably keep going. I'm so glad to get to know you better, and I got to hang with you a few weeks ago at our friend's 40th birthday party.
Right.
So thank you for being so kind to my son. I wish you the very best
Thank
at
you.
Elegant Affairs.
It was really
I think
fun. Thanks for
they're-
having us.
Oh yeah, no, this is and good luck with the ketogenic diet. I may try to follow suit. I may call you up and
We got books.
Ask
We got a
you to
library. It's a
sponsor
lending
me.
library. There you go.
And to our viewers, I say, cógelo suave, pero cógelo. Take it easy, but take it. And we'll see you soon. So we'll see you around the East End campus. Thanks for coming on the show.
Cheers. Good stuff.